Thank
Are there
you.
any things that you would recommend the listeners, or because we're going to have people live on the webinar? I think more of the power is going to come from people that are going to be listening to a podcast or watching this on video. What can they do to move themselves forward as a sales professional, or even help their organizations move forward?
Yes, that's an excellent question. Anita asked something similar. She said, what advice would you give an aspiring woman in sales to help them grow and develop? Anita, become a professional salesperson. And I'll give you an analogy. I walked in when I was in pharmaceutical sales. I had just finished the 6-week course, and I was proud because it was the hardest thing I'd ever done with all the chemistry and all that good stuff. I had my brand new Amex card. I had my brand new car, and I walked into the doctor's office and pulled out my brag book, and I was going through all of the things that described the benefits of my drug to his patient population. And he stopped me and he looked me dead in my teeth and he said, how long did you study this drug? And I said, 6 weeks. And I'm excited, right? And he says, I went to school for 12 years. How can you stand there and tell me that with your 6 weeks of education, you can know more about my patient population and what's best for them? I was
Wow.
floored. I was floored. And
Wow.
so I couldn't say anything. And one of the rare moments I was just speechless. And I went home and I thought about it and I thought about it and I thought about it. And I said, he's exactly right. My approach was all wrong. I went in to tell him what he needed to do instead of asking him what would help him help his patient population. And then I realized something that changed my career. I would never go to a doctor that didn't subscribe to or read the American Medical Association journals. I would never go to a lawyer if I were on on trial. I would never go to a lawyer that didn't have books and books and books of legal theory. And I sure as heck, as a business owner, would never get my taxes done by someone who didn't stay up to date with the tax laws. So if we are going to be professional saleswomen, we owe it to ourselves and to our prospects to be professionals. That means taking courses. That means reading an hour a day of a sales related book. That means professional development all the time. We have to be professionals to be seen as professionals, or else we're going to be seen as mediocre, someone trying to push something rather than a professional problem solver. So my advice would be professional development should come first. An hour a day reading. Start with 15 minutes and add 5 minutes a week. But you've got to develop yourself before you can even begin to know what's best for your prospect or customer.
Yeah, that's great advice. I mean, it is amazing to have you share that. I don't know if we see any other questions in the chat or in the Q&A.
Yes, yes. Someone asked, what things could the audience do to move forward with a better approach to growing and more successful women in sales? The companies that I work with that want to develop women in sales actually have a women in sales initiative, have a woman in sales ERG, which is different than a women at XYZ company. When you have a women at XYZ company, it's a great start. And what happens is when you have women in engineering mixed with women in marketing, women in sales, you're mixing everyone together and you're neglecting what the individual group is going through. Women in sales are a unique breed. We are special. We go through things with our clients, with our prospects, with our managers. It's a multifaceted role and it's emotional as heck. Sales is the only profession I know where you prospect and get rejected 90%, 9 out of 10 times a day, and you wake up the next morning to do it again. So I don't know if it's insanity or if it's just the rejection. We face different challenges. So you've got to have a women in sales ERG. And the last thing is have training, development that addresses the needs of your diverse populations and segments. We offer women in sales training, and the women in sales that attend our training from companies like Toyota and Google come back and say, oh my gosh, I never knew that selling as a woman could be different. And development is designed, number one, to address the unique challenges that women in sales face, as well as amplifying the innate strengths that we have. If your sales program doesn't do that, then give me a call.
Yeah, no, that's great that you share that.